Recognized.
Welcome to beautiful Red Carpet Lanes, located in Green Bay, Wisconsin, for tonight's championship round finals of the $130,000 LaMode Classic. Hi, everybody. I'm Denny Schreiner, and welcome to the PBA Summer Tour on ESPN. And for all of the touring professionals, the key to success is making it to the Final Five, the championship round, and then winning matches when you get there. Working with me once again, Mike Durbin won his fair share of matches in the championship round. But tonight, Michael, we have a study in contrast. We have two players who, without question, are moving in opposite directions.
Yes, we do, Denny. Those two players are Jim Pencak and Dave Ferraro. Jim Pencak has won a record 15 consecutive singles victories on television. He started that in 1989 when he won his first title right here. He won 4 matches that night. In those 15 victories, he has 4 tournament wins. Interestingly enough, the man he defeated that night to win that title was Dave Ferraro, who's going in the opposite direction. Dave, his last 14 games on television, has lost 13 of them. The one victory was in 1990 when he won the Firestone Tournament of Champions. Since then, he's lost 9 in a row, and we had a chance to ask him if it's having an effect on him.
Well, I think it's adding up week after week. And I think that's why I'm making the show more often, because I got that extra drive to win.
And if Dave Ferraro gets a break this evening in terms of that streak, he'll be bowling against a raw rookie from Las Vegas, Dave Wodka. He's never bowled on television before.
You know, interestingly enough, Dave is only 20 years of age, Danny. I looked at his bio. He's born in 1971. My youngest son was born in 1971. Dave Wodka, though, bowled 300 on this pair of lanes. I think bowling that 300 will give him some confidence tonight, help him overcome the nervousness.
While we're on the subject of confidence, Mark McDow is our top seed, and he is brimming with confidence, has the support of his family and friends. He's the hometown favorite. Is it an advantage or a disadvantage to bowl in front of the hometown fans?
Well, Denny, to answer your question, a couple years ago, he had an opportunity to make the top 5 here, and he didn't quite make it. He said he put added pressure on himself that particular night. Now he's more mature. He's the PBA president. I think that's matured him both as a person and a player, and I think he's using the fans to move him on, to give him incentive tonight.
All right, all the incentive you need is the fact that there is $20,000 on top for first place. We'll be back with the start of match number 1 momentarily. The championship round finals of the $130,000 LaMode Classic are being brought to you by Bud Light. Everything else is just a light. And by Midas for mufflers, brakes, and shocks. Nobody beats Midas. Nobody. And when we return to Green Bay, the opening match will feature Dave Wodka of Las Vegas and 5-time PBA champion Dave Ferraro.
This Labor Day, find a Budman inside packages of Budweiser, Bud Light, and Bud Dry Draft.
Budman! You big lug. You could have had a brand spanking new raft. Shins up, men. Here comes a winner. Yowza.
Hey, you could win one of thousands of prizes, including sailboats.
Man, that one really hurt. Give me 3. Heads up, man. Somebody just nabbed your 12 pack. What? Wait for me! Man.
How do I know where to get my brakes done right?
Come to Midas. You get a lot of value for the price, and you get something else. Peace of mind. Knowing you get a thorough inspection by Midas-trained experts and a written estimate up front. Knowing every brake shoe and pad is guaranteed for as long as you own your car, and knowing the job will be done right. That's why more people come to us for brakes, knowing that nobody beats Midas. Nobody.
Today is a very good day. You've got a new set of wheels and a license to drive. You, my friend, are on a roll. Can your life get better than this? You bet your spandex, because you're going to McDonald's to wheel some delicious deals. Only 59 cents for a regular hamburger, 69-cent cheeseburger, and 99 cents for a chicken fajitas or breakfast burrito. Wow, you ask someone to pinch you. Ah, a volunteer. Yes, your life is good, and at these prices, it only gets better at McDonald's today.
We know how hard you work. We'll work that hard for you. We believe in putting people first in everything we do. Every time we fly, every mile of sky, everything we do. USA, USA begins with you.
Mike Durbin, this crowd has been standing outside for hours, waiting to get inside to watch the championship round finals. Tremendous bowling support here in Green Bay.
And I think they're all just viewing the first 3 matches as preliminary, and they can't wait for the championship match.
The hooting and hollering for Mark McDow will begin early on in the title match. Meanwhile, Dave Wodka, with his first ever shot on national television, could use a break. Doesn't get it, leaves the baby split.
Well, at least he hit the headpin.
Did you the first time?
Yeah, I got a strike. I started on the left lane like he did, and I got a strike my first ball. I can still remember this huge crowd in Edison, New Jersey, 112 lane center.
Oh, yeah, that was the biggest bowling center in the United States at one time.
And they all cheered, and I got scared to death.
Of course, you probably washed out on the next shot, right? Hard and straight, took the 3 out, and just what you don't want to happen, an open frame in the first frame.
Well, Ferraro's had the 7-10 made at him, and everything else in this streak. Not counting anything yet.
Gets a break on his opening shot, kind of rumbles the rack a little bit, and when we had a chance to talk to Dave prior to the telecast, he's a little tired of discussing the streak.
Yes, I think he is. You know, he's basically, you don't want to get that reputation, Dan. I mean, suddenly it's not Dave Ferraro who's the Firestone Tournament champion, 5-time winner, making over 100,000. There is Dave Ferraro who's lost 9 in a row. Starts here with a double.
And that's exactly the way you want to open up a championship round game. Loose, get a couple of light hits, and get the arm swing free.
Well, I can remember my first telecast. I bowled against a seasoned veteran in Nelson Burton Jr. I shot 160. He opened up with the first 6. So,
well, he obviously knew he had a patsy.
Right. Well, that's what everybody thought.
Boy, David really acquitted himself beautifully last night. Bounces back, throws a key strike. He's got to do something here early on, or Ferraro will put him away early.
Well, you just never know. A kid that has this kind of free swing and snap release, he can shoot 250 or 150. 5-step player. Knees slightly bent all the way back at the end of the approach, or almost to the end. Pushes it out. High back swing and really whacks on it at the end.
He just saws it right off at the foul line, looking for a double and trying to climb back into the match. And the crowd oohs and ahs, and David will have to settle for a solid 10.
He threw that one really well.
At home, his parents in Las Vegas have all the family and friends over to watch the telecast. And, of course, his mother, a very good friend of mine, a player on the LPBT Tour. And, of course, she not only won a pro title, but also a WIBC national title.
At the 10 pin. No trouble.
Just trying to remain calm there, Kathy. Don't worry. David's got everything under control, at least for the time being.
Which David, though?
Yeah, that's true. Good point. Ferraro leading by 21 in the early stages of our opening match. Trying to extend the lead, and he cut that one short, and it's a Durbin with the 4 and the 7 added.
Oh, 4 when you hit the head pin. That never used to happen then. You could see the speed was just a lot less on that shot. See the difference in earnings between 1990 and 1991. That's because there's no victories here. Last year he had a Tournament of Champions victory.
A half dozen to shoot at, and he ends up with 8 out.
Five-step player, holds the ball waist high, very short backswing, very little slide. And from that, you could not tell anything that went wrong. But basically what went wrong was the speed was just too soft.
Well, the acceleration was back, and so was the reaction as Ferraro strikes in the 4th, but now he leads by just 1 pin.
Interesting, then. He hasn't had a double yet in the match. The other man has a double, yet he's only 1 pin behind because of 4 and 8 out.
Ooh, and you can see see Dave set that one short, and he now has also paid the price. It's obvious, Mike, if you cut it off or don't throw it with the speed or velocity, it's going through the nose.
But there's an added problem. If you get it too wide, he comes in too late. We could see a 2.810 yet tonight, too. The lanes are just really a professional condition here. They're not easy, yet they're still scoreable if you make quality shots. That has a chance.
You can't draw it up any better, so the youngster from Las Vegas comes up big with the conversion. And, of course, last night he had a big victory in the position round just to get to this position.
Last night he made the 2.810. Get a good look at him there.
Yeah, there was a lot of luck involved in that game, but you got to have the breaks to get to the show, so I'll take it.
To go along with converting the 2.810, he also had 3 Brooklyn strikes in that 258 game. So a lot of things went right for Dave Wodka to make the telecast, and now he's trying to make the most of the situation.
Well, that doesn't make him a bad guy because things went right for him. I mean, I can still remember Billy Hardwick, one of his first victories. The 4 barely toppled into the 5, you know, and he wound up beating, I think, a guy named Roger Helly.
Ferraro still ahead in the match, working on a strike. And that's trouble. So now the right-hand lane has presented a serious problem in terms of adjustment.
And Dave Ferraro probably adjusted off of that split, moved left, gave it room, and it doesn't come back. We talked about that. He had trouble with this lane in practice. Right now he needs to convert this to stay ahead. Oh! Tried to bounce it off the head pin over into the 610 away. I do not recommend his shooting that spare. Wound up getting 7 out, and he's shooting a 170 game with a double, no spares. 3 strikes out of 5 frames. And here he is in that same familiar position, trailing to a kid who's never bowled on television before.
If there is a positive side, the left-hand lane has been strikeable. And fortunate that he didn't leave the 10 pin as well. So Ferraro will have to gather himself to make a run here in the latter part of this game. After they started with David with a double and Dave Wodka with an open, you figured at that stage that Ferraro would just put him away. That's not the case. I have a feeling this one's going to go down to the 10th frame one way or another. We'll take a break. But remember that no trip to Green Bay would be complete without a visit to the Green Bay Packer Hall of Fame, where you can follow the great tradition from 1919 through the Lombardi years all the way to the upcoming 91 season.
Everything you need to know about pay-per-view can be found in your Warner Home Theater Guide, located in your monthly bill. Convenient, colorful, concise, and complete. Your Warner Home Theater Guide not only provides you with photos and descriptions of all this month's movies, it will keep you informed of special events such as boxing, wrestling, and concerts. Plus, you'll find simple step-by-step ordering instructions on the inside cover. Warner Cable, great performances every day.
You got a little cassette player. You got a box. Your kid's got toys with batteries. I got bad news for you. Those batteries you throw away are loaded with mercury, and the mercury you throw away gets into the soil. Bad, bad, bad. Use rechargeable batteries, and if you see someone tossing out a battery, instead of taking it to a recycling center, tell them to take it back.
Buy stuff that's recycled. Recycle the stuff you buy. Take it back.
No, they can hit on the field. But can they hit on the course? NFL stars team up with top senior golfers at the NFL Cadillac Classic, Saturday afternoon at 6 Eastern on ESPN.
Boy, the big donut you see there in the 6th was the worst break of the week for Dave Wodka. Threw a pretty nice shot and left the pocket 7-10, but then came back with a strike in the 7th.
They were both good shots, Dan. Just a bad break to leave that pocket 7-10. And Ferraro figures it out on lane 16. Shakes his arms there, trying to get a little bit loose. He's 1 pin ahead. 3 frames to go. You think the advantage has got to be with Ferraro. He's been here before. The experiences with him, yet weighing on his mind is, I don't want to lose a game.
This would be a key double. He leads by 1, could extend it to 11.
This his favorite of the two lanes. There. Well, we've had a lot of X's, Denny, but we've had also a lot of opens. I'll tell you what, 4 opens between the players, 4 splits between the two, and right now, 8 strikes between the two. Watka has to strike here to keep pace with him.
And if he would strike off the shoot, could still shoot 213. Ball clean, a beautiful shot. So the youngster comes back with a double and tightens up the match.
And you could just see him. He's getting into this a little bit more. You know, he's like, hey, what's going on television's fun.
Told me he was going to go out and enjoy himself, win, lose, or draw. It was something that he'd always dreamed about doing. And he said, hey, Dan, I'm going to go out and do the best I can and see what happens at the end of 10 frames.
And I'll tell you what, you know, there's 30-some pins that cost him that split in the 7th frame. This is for the lead in the foundation 9th frame. Right there. Nope. Snapped at the end and left the 3-6-9-10.
In watching him last night, Mike, especially under pressure, I noticed that there is one thing that he's guilty of, and he'll have a tendency to set the ball a little bit short, raise up on it, and his mistake is normally left, which is what we saw there.
Now he's got a tough spare. He needs to make this to stay in the match.
Very little time. Gets the reaction that he wants as he nails the Durbin on the left-hand lane. Now, Ferraro, if he strikes on lane 16, would be in the driver's seat.
Absolutely. The left lane, he's proved he can hit all along. Oh, nice kick out of the 10. And I think the streak is going to end right here, Denny. 15 ahead. Right now, he basically just needs a good count and a mark in that 10th frame, and he's going to win the match. Because the best that Dave Wodka can get is 189.
And plus, now he's on the lane that he likes the most. He's hit the pocket with every shot on lane 15. Deep breath, a little extra time. Doesn't want to let this one slip away.
The 1, 2, 4, 6, 10. Slip away was the appropriate term. He needs to make. Now, let's see if he shoots it, trying to bounce it off the head pin again, or whether he goes to the left. He's trying to figure it all out, what he needs. And basically what he needs, my goodness. He gets 8 out. That's, what, 167, 175?
Well, Watka could still shoot 189.
He's trying to bounce it off. Doesn't do. 8 out. Watch it. He's aiming right around the 5th or the 6th board. Looks like he hits it, but since it's wider, it breaks later. He knew where to throw on that lane and just didn't do it. Watka is up 4 pins. Basically needs to count 17 in the 10th frame to win. Ooh, 17. There's 7 of it right there. The 2, 4, 8.
Well, David's a little bit nervous. Both Davids are nervous at this point. Watka checks the score, and Dave Ferraro, if he does not come up a winner in this one, will remember this one a long time. It's a tough stretch for him.
I'll be interested to see if this kid throws a hook at this ball or throws it straight at the 2, 4, 8.
I'll go for straight.
Straight it is. And he made it. Oh! Now he needs a strike then.
Fans exhorting him. They looked at the score. They realized strike, he's a winner. 9, we're into a couple of extra frames.
And less than 9, he loses.
Whew. Interesting first appearance in a championship round.
Interesting first game. Will it strike? Yes.
Ferraro will head to the paddock, and
having lost 10 consecutive games in the championship round, but this is one that, well, he had complete control over. Meanwhile, on the other side of the coin, Dave Wodka has won his opening game in the championship round, and he will move along here in the championship finals. And when we come back, Mike's average builder for you here on ESPN.
NASCAR racing's hot car is the Chevy Lumina, piloted by jockeys like Daytona champion Ernie Irvan.
My Lumina puts me in victory lane. Here's your chance to win the Lumina of your choice, like a new Z34. From now until the halfway point of ESPN's next Pick the Winning Chevy race, you can call and enter the number of the Lumina you think will finish highest in the race for just 99 cents a minute. The winner will be selected from all correct phone and mail entries. Hey, nice job. See you Sunday on ESPN.
Most guys would tell you they don't really think about their hair. Right. Personally, I think most guys want their hair to look good, as long as it's not a hassle. That's where Pert Plus comes in. It's a unique shampoo and conditioner in one. So, you get clean, more manageable hair than with plain shampoo, but without any extra work. That's Pert Plus. Hey, I admit it, I think about my hair. But it's not all I think about.
Wash and go with Pert Plus. Also in dandruff control.
Average Builders is brought to you by Pizza Hut. Try the new double cheeseburger today. Pizza Hut, making it great.
For tonight's Average Builder, we're going to look at something really very simple, but absolutely fundamental to the sport of bowling. And that is, how do I put my hand in the bowling ball? Is there a right or a wrong way to do it? Is there a preferred way to do it? Well, I would have to answer no to the first question and yes to the second question. There are really very few things in the sport of bowling that are absolutely right or wrong. But there is a preferred way to do many different things, and there is a preferred way of how to put my hand in the bowling ball. And that preferred way is what I recommend, is putting my fingers into the ball first and then my thumb. And this applies whether I'm putting my finger in for a conventional grip where I put it all the way into the second joint here, or a semi-fingertip where it goes somewhere in between, or like this ball, a fingertip where it goes into the first joint, and then I lay my thumb in the bowling ball like so. Now, the reason I want to put my fingers in first is that I hope that at the point of release, the exact opposite will happen. That is, that as I let it go, my thumb will come out first, and my fingers can lift the bowling ball, or as the players call it, hit the bowling ball. Now, there is another school of thought, and that is to put my thumb into the bowling ball first. Few players on the PBA history have made this popular. It's PBA champion Joe Hutchinson did it, and the late, great Billy Waylow did it. And what they do here is you kind of screw your thumb into the ball all the way in like so, and then to put your fingers in like so. This creates a different feel. It gives kind of a feel of my thumb being solidly in the bowling ball. The important things to remember, though, is whether I put my fingers in first or my thumb in first, I want my hand totally relaxed in the bowling ball. And I'm trying to develop the feel that the ball is actually part or an extension of my hand. When we do develop that feel that the ball is an extension of our hand, we're going to find that at the other end of the approach, when that release happens, that release is going to improve week after week after week. We'll see you again next Thursday when we'll be in Buffalo, New York. And if you have trouble with your release in the meantime, see your local PBA pro.
Dave Wodka takes on the man who averaged 244 on this pair of lanes throughout the week. He won here in '89, Jim Pencak.
And every week, we get together at this house and sit around this table because... We're the guys! We order supreme pizzas delivered from Pizza Hut because... We're the guys! Shit! But tonight, we're really hungry, so we're getting super supreme pizza.
Call Pizza Hut Delivery for a supreme pizza for $8.99 or a second for $4 more. Or make them super supremes with 3 more toppings for an extra $1.
Bye, guys.
She is not a guy.
Pizza Hut Delivery, making it great.
Every second of an asthma attack can feel like an eternity. That's why there's Primatene Mist. Primatene opens clogged breathing tubes, restores free breathing in as fast as 15 seconds. So you're breathing easy in practically no time. Primatene Mist, the fastest type relief known. And for hours of relief, Primatene tablets with the asthma reliever doctors recommend most.
If it happens in baseball, you'll see it on ESPN.
Here he goes. He leaps. He makes the catch.
See Tuesday night doubleheaders, Wednesday night excitement, Friday night twin bills, and exclusive Sunday night action. The Mets' Howard Johnson is locked in a tight battle for the National League home run crown. All-star Ryne Sandberg leads the Cubs as they try to make up ground in the NL East. The Mets meet the Cubs live on ESPN Sunday Night Baseball.
And now it's on to game number 2 of the LaMode Classic, and we have 2 players now that will strap the bowling ball, and Jim Pencak does that as well as anybody on the PBA Tour.
And the other thing that Jim does is he really stays loose during the championship round. He's out there joking and laughing and having a good time. There's a lot of pins dancing around, but they didn't all fall down.
Opens with a pocket hit and leaves a soft 7, a smile on his face. I think, to be quite honest with you, Jimmy's just happy to be back in the championship round. It's his first appearance of the year.
Well, it's his first appearance since April, I think, of 1990.
I mean, at this stage of 91, Mike, he's over $100,000 behind in earnings where he was a year ago.
Well, there's 2 different ways to look at things. Many people might have thought that he had a career year last year. Right. You know, that winning 3 tournaments in the PBA National. You know, you don't do that every year of your career unless you're a Marshall Holman or a Mark Roth, something like that.
A little too much turn that time out of Dave Wodka. Leaves the 3-6 on lane 16.
And a little bit better break. He had that same hit last game. He had the 10 and the 7 up there as company.
It'll be interesting to see how he reacts this game, coming down emotionally and with the adrenaline and everything else, to see how he operates. Normally, it's difficult to get back and bowl as well as you've done in the past. But he's probably also saying to himself, I know I can bowl better than I did in game number 1.
And he hit that pin so hard, he knocked it back out on the deck underneath the sweep, and they're going to have to roll a ball or get it out of the back from the back with a metal hook that they have. Kind of like a big claw to reach out and grab you off stage, Denny.
Okay. Look like a 5-iron there.
You would think of that, wouldn't you?
Well. Boy, it's so much fun to watch a bright young face, a player who's never experienced the pressure of the championship round, get out there and try his luck. I'll tell you what, he's a freewheeler. This guy's going to go out there and just let it rip. You're not going to cut it off any.
Well, he sets a few short, but, you know, he has his swings at it, I'll tell you what. If this were baseball, he'd be air conditioning home plate around there with those.
Just hoping to make contact once in a while. But it was funny. I asked him prior to the telecast, I said, well, I know it's your first show and everything, but have you thought about winning? And he kind of winked and he said, you know, anything is possible. I know there's 4 really good players that I'd have to beat, but you never know in this game what might happen.
Well, hey, that's good thinking.
Well, sure it is.
And you see his bios, you know, that one of his goals is to be considered one of the best ever. So, I mean, it's not just win a tournament or make a living or anything. He's got his goals up there.
Pensac starts to growl at those pins a little bit early.
Boy, and I thought that ball was going high all the way, Dan. That ball did exactly what you said. It held pocket. He throws a hook. That looked like my ball there.
For a moment, it looked like it would cross the head pin, but it didn't. Pretty shiny surface bowling ball. Brand new bowling ball. He said that he drilled up for the telecast.
Right. Well, they've had the back ends hooking here all week, although all the players have said they're tighter today.
Revs it up, gets the light hit, says, okay, baby, we got the double to open up the door, and we'll see where we can go from here.
Well, 15 on a row. He's already got the record. Anything he does now is adding to it.
You made an astute comment. Dave Wodka has already extended one streak in Ferraro's losing streak. Now he'd like to stop the other streak.
Down in a hurry. Well, when this ball hits those pins, it just like they explode off, doesn't it?
The fans here in Green Bay also get their money's worth. They've been screaming and pounding the seats and everything else all week long, and they're coming out for more here tonight. We haven't heard anything, though, until Mark McDowell gets out here for the title.
Well, they seem to have adopted Dave Wodka right now, at least as long as he keeps winning, but they won't. They may divorce him just as soon as that championship match gets there.
It'll be silence when he strikes if he gets to the title game. Oh, 5-pin dished right towards the 7, but doesn't quite get the job done. That would have been a key double.
Did you see that head pin come back off the wall like a bullet? It was almost impossible to see. It was so fast.
I think he might be a little bit juiced up. Uh-oh.
Why did they shoot that from the left? I don't know why these guys shoot those spares from the left.
Well, we've got a couple of big hitters here in Watka and also Pensac. And, of course, coming up on Sunday, some big hitters as well on ESPN. This weekend, ESPN Sunday Night Baseball is at Wrigley Field, where home run hitters Howard Johnson and Ryan Sandberg meet face-to-face. Chicago's Sandberg now rates 5th all-time for homers by second baseman. And Johnson is tied to the league lead in round trippers with 23. New York and Chicago meet Sunday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Time on ESPN. Well, while we were away, we missed a shot there in the 4th. And, of course, Jimmy's probably glad we did.
Well, he's not getting away with it, though. This runaway Brooklyn, we're going to get on national television, Jimmy.
Shakes his head and says, all right, there's a bad shot, but I got the strike. I lead by 33, and let's see if we might be able to do a little better business here on lane 15.
Well, you got to take advantage of those breaks. Obviously, he has, winning 15 in a row and on his way to 16.
That's high, too, and through the nose, and this time not so fortunate for Jim Pencak, who is left with the 3-10 baby split.
I find it interesting with a lot of these football players. They wind up throwing a hook at the baby split, too, and I can't understand why. Let's see if he hooks it at her or throws it straight. Switching balls.
Oh, I agree with you completely on shooting the left side spares from the left. I don't know. I've seen more of them miss that way than the other way.
He's throwing a hook at it, Dave. I don't understand that either. I mean, why hook it at a spare? All you got to do is hit it on the right and you make it.
That's your natural motion, though, perhaps. That's what you have the most confidence in?
I guess that must be the reason they do it. But it reduces the amount of error. If he'd have thrown that ball straight, you know, with a little more angle, he might have bounced it off and made it. Mr. Hurry.
Stood up on that shot a little bit, left the 2-8-10, and just a brief history of Mr. Watka last night against Amleto Monticelli. He bounced the 8-pin out of the gutter to make the 2-8-10, and then in the position round match, he threw the ball to the left of the 2-pin. It took out the 10, came back and got the 8.
So he says the spare's not so tough. Whew, I've hardly ever seen it made. He made it twice. And he still bounces pins around. So we need to hook again, Daddy.
He's obviously a little upset with the first shot, but can't let that bother him now. 5-iron back out again. Sweeps aren't fast enough for Dave Wodka.
Well, right now he shot 170 in the first game, and he's bowling at 176 pace right now.
Down by 30 pins, but not done swinging. A wild shot there. He looks like he's coming a little bit unglued at this point.
Not an easy spare either, Dan. The 3-9. I can think of easier spares, although he did shoot the 3-6-9-10 in the 9th frame of the first game, so you should have an idea what it's doing over there.
All right, excellent conversion. And so it's a spare up for Watka in the 6th. The National Railroad Museum preserves the history of the railroad from the early 1900s all the way through today with exhibits, videos, and of course rides for your enjoyment here in Green Bay.
Born of the finest natural ingredients, then brewed and aged with extra care for that clean, crisp, cold taste.
taste only Budweiser can deliver.
And we'll toast and cheer with the king of beers.
The king of beers.
Nothing beats a Bud. I'm a big man.
Why do so many men stick with Bic?
I'm a big man.
Because there's a Bic for every beer. Regular, sensitive, metal.
Yeah, I'm a big man.
I'm a big man.
Red Devil Clear Polyurethane. You can always count on its durable finish. Harder than ordinary clear finishes, its beauty lasts and lasts. Red Devil Clear Polyurethane for the finish of a lifetime.
While we were away, a strike in the 6th for Pensac, then a conversion of the 6-9 in the 7th. It's a 30-pin lead over this youngster from Las Vegas, Dave Wodka. Trying to put something together here in the latter stages. Flirts with the one board and leaves a ringing 10-pin on 16.
Boy, did he catch all of that one, though. He just pulled the finger holes out of that ball. This kid can't get a break right now.
And a gentleman that's a great friend to bowling, and of course the professionals here in Green Bay, Dave Swagel, who a year ago we talked about him. We weren't even sure that Dave was going to be around for this season or for this event this year, and he's bounced back beautifully from some physical problems, and he truly loves the game, and the players are just so appreciative that he's here.
And he battled back from cancer. He had cancer of the thyroid. They took his thyroid out, and he underwent chemotherapy and radiation therapy and more chemotherapy, and now he's in remission and doing well and taking it one day at a time.
Yep, got a ton of energy, was out last night having some fun, so whew, sigh of relief from all the folks in the bowling industry.
One strike this game is all he's had. It's still all he's had.
All of his friends in Valdosta, Georgia, pulling for him right now, but he is struggling without question on this pair of lanes. He struggled in the opening game, but made a great shot and attempt to defeat Ferraro by a pin.
Well, you don't win many games on the PBA Tour with 170 steady. And bowling in that pace again can't happen twice in a row. You got to do better. Can't miss spares like a 7-pin and a 3-6 and expect to beat these guys. These are the world's best.
A little disheveled at this point. Meanwhile, Pensac will try and take advantage of Watka's mistake in the 8th. Jimmy leads by 44, and he's just about ready to put this one away.
Going for 16 in a row. And almost has it. The best that Dave Wodka can do is 182 at this point. Oh, they're not easy out there. And I'll tell you what, this is definitely a demanding condition. We can see that when the guys make the on-balance quality shots, they get out of the ball clean with the right speed, they get to the pocket. But boy, when they throw it a little wide, with a little too hard, or a little soft and a little left, it goes everywhere.
Which doesn't naturally lend itself to getting loose.
No, but it demands that you make a quality shot.
What's wrong with that?
Nothing's wrong with that. Nothing in the world's wrong with that.
See, I happen to like that myself.
That's fine. I mean, hey, and that's the way it's been all week. It took only a 208 average to make the top 24 and a 204 average to make the money. So, I mean, it's been a shot maker's condition all week long. Waiting in the wings to bowl the winner of this match is a shot maker, Tony Westlake.
And, of course, our top seed, Mark McDow of Madison, Wisconsin. All bowling for $20,000 in first-place prize money in this year's LaMode Classic. Well, Jimmy stayed with that shot a little better, liked it the moment it left his hand, and so he strikes in the 9th frame.
And Dave Wodka has to strike out just to make Pensac show up for the 10th frame.
Regardless of what happens, a memorable experience for this youthful right-hander from Las Vegas, Nevada.
Well, it'd be nice for him to just finish on a positive note at least, you know. All right.
There, the 4-pin tackled from behind. Yeah, you're right. 3 more, and he'd go home thinking, well, I didn't bowl my best, but I won a match and had a chance.
Well, 3 strikes in the 10th. He can finish with 182. Just do the best you can. Try and make it a learning experience and build on it.
not only the first championship round appearance for Dave, but also his first top 24 finals. And all he did, Mike, was go out and win 15 of his first 17 matches. Ooh, that's a pretty good start.
Well, he wound up 19-5. He only lost 5 matches. He says, hey, what's so tough about this PBA?
That's what that youthful ignorance will teach you, right, Mike?
Yeah, as Dave Ferraro.
There you go. All you got to do is come out and bowl. It's no problem beating these guys. A quick scan of the board. He realizes that this one is over. The party is finished and the lights are out. But a 4th place finish and a sizable chunk of change. The biggest paycheck ever in his PBA career. There it is, a strike on the final shot for young Dave Wodka. He and Jimmy were having some fun last night and in the practice session prior to the championship round.
Pensac went over in between there and asked Dave Smart, one of the player services representatives, to go get him another ball, and he's throwing this in the 10th frame just to see what it does. This is not so shiny.
And you can't get that ball into his hands soon enough. Well, he's won 16 in a row. We talked to Jimmy and asked him, how do you keep that streak alive?
Probably not thinking about 15 straight matches is the key. Just take one match at a time. It's just a streak of good luck. You know, things that happen to me, I make some good shots, I get some breaks, and my opponents didn't get the breaks. And there's no way that I could ever say that I'm going to come out here and win 15 matches in a row on TV. It's just ludicrous to think that. So I just get out here one match at a time and, you know, just don't worry about it. The record is more interest to everyone else rather than me.
I think the one key there, too, as you mentioned, is the fact that he's also won all those titles during that stretch. You have to win in the championship round to be successful on the tour.
I believe you do, yeah. Although it's interesting, some of the greatest bowlers of all time had losing records.
Fans oohing and eyeing, but it didn't make any difference. The 2-8 was academic as Pensac wins 210 to 162. When we come back, we'll take a look at the rest of the top 24 here in this year's LaMode Classic.
I used to pay Jack probably $6 an hour to wait tables, but he was worth 20 because he could fix anything. Well, when he got out of school, he went to work for Warner Cable as a repairman. Well, once, I couldn't get an electrician out to fix my freezer. So I called Warner. I said, send Jack out. The cable's busted. Well, he fixed it, and I sent him back with a box full of T-bones. They had a barbecue. I got my freezer fixed.
Warner Cable. Great performances every day.
The new 1992 Mercury Grand Marquis. More room than Oldsmobile 98 or Buick Park Avenue. More power than Olds and Buick from a new, more powerful V8 engine. And more value. Grand Marquis is priced $1,700 less than Olds 98. $2,100 less than Park Avenue. New Grand Marquis. Proof that more of a good thing is a very good thing.
And some of the other top finishers this week: Joe Firpo on the telecast in Austin, David D'Entremont in his 2nd consecutive finals.
And Emilio Monticelli made a run for the telecast, ended up 8th. John Mazur with a hot hand finished 9th.
Jess Stayrook will always be known for that 710. Another quality left-hander in Ricky Ward.
And in 12th and 13th, Richard Wolf, and a player who won 2 weeks ago on ESPN, Brian Voss.
Mike Albee, the solid one back there. Mark Williams, another talented Texan.
Parker Bone III, it seems like he's been in the finals every single week, and Don Moser in 17th position.
Purvis Granger from Columbus, and another good left-hander, Brad Snell.
And in 20th place, Len Blakey and Brian Goebel finished 21st this week.
Marshall Holman, the great one there, and John C. Berg. I don't know that young guy.
And somebody has to finish 24th in each and every PBA event, so this week it was Tracy Lambert. That's all right, he'll move up next week. $130,000 all told, $20,000 to the winner of this week's LaMode Classic. When we come back, Jim Pencak, will the streak continue?
Only Tony Westlake knows for sure.
Hey, little brother, you've got to get wise to money.
Get more for your money at McDonald's. A regular hamburger is just 59 cents. A cheeseburger, 69 cents.
A penny saved is a penny earned, and that's why you have to pinch it.
For breakfast, a sausage biscuit is 79 cents.
Get good stuff at a good price, because money doesn't grow on trees.
And the breakfast burrito or chicken fajita, only 99 cents each.
When you get to be my age, you'll understand.
More for your money. That's McDonald's today.
This royal throne of kings, this happy breed of men, this earth of majesty, this little world.
The airline that's uniting the world. United brings you non-stop service from 6 U.S. cities to London's Heathrow and the land of poets.
This blessed plot, this earth, this realm, this England.
Come fly the friendly skies.
Competitors know that it takes power to score. Power in your approach. Power in your equipment. Witness the devastating result of premium urethane charged with a secret additive and explosive high-energy impact for better corner carry. Even arc. More hook. The perfectly matched two-piece ball. The U2 from Columbia 300.
Some men would rather live their lives sheltered in the harbor, and some would rather sail into life with the unmistakable scent of Old Spice. Clean, true, and classic. Old Spice, one of the legends of the sea.
Mookie Wilson and Andre Johnson sets up in their simply awesome batting races, pen and chases, shoestring grabs around the laces. Howard Johnson puts the bait from one place to stay up to date. All the sound and all the sight. ESPN Baseball, Friday night.
All right, the semifinal game. Jim Pencak, Tony Westlake. Are you going to go public with your prediction here, or are you just going to write little notes to me and now tell people what you think?
Well, I wrote a note here. You know, it says 16-0. The streak ends now.
So you think that maybe Westlake will get the better of Jimmy Pencak?
That probably ends any chance that he had.
Okay. Who, Westlake?
Yes.
Right. Durbin curse has now been placed on his shoulders, but as good a player as he is, he'll probably still rise to the occasion. Pensac opens up with a light hit, to say the least.
Well, he's going with that ball that he went over and got in between. The reason that he's going with that ball is because he thinks it hooks a little bit more and can give him a little more room right. He may be in error. He switches balls now to shoot the spare. So he's got enough. He's got at least 3 balls out there. I think Westlake's got 1.
Hooking it at the spare, comes in behind it, and an open frame for Pensac in the first frame.
Westlake be playing the outside angle. He loves this angle. He was getting wrapped into practice balls too, and he starts right off with a solid 10.
Very simple game, aggressive, and the one thing that Tony Westlake does under pressure is repeat shot after shot after shot.
And the follow-through is the same as what I like. I mean, it's quick, but it's the same.
Has been on a hot streak ever since he won up in Portland about 6 weeks ago.
Tony's the type of player, you know, that he's bowled lots of games for money over the years. 5-step player, holds the ball down. Asked him about that. He says he's always bowled this way. Now watch the follow-through. That was at the spare. He came up. He doesn't come up like that on the first ball.
Stayed down nicely with that one. Ball tries to hold in the 1-3 pocket, but he ends up with the 4-pin.
And again, it appears that 15 is hooking a little bit more than 16. You throw it wide on there. If they don't have good speed, you know, if they are a little lefted, it'll go high. But he had good speed on them and still held pocket. When they throw it wide, it has a tendency to want to make it back over there. Except for Ferraro, that first match.
I'm still amazed at that shot.
And I guarantee you that David is, too. He probably felt like he threw just the conservative shot that he wanted to, just get the ball in the pocket, and I've won my game, but it wasn't to be. We've seen some rather interesting games bowled thus far.
And we've seen a lot of what the players call tic-tac-toe. I mean, circles and X's. Right now, there's too many circles.
Very demanding professional condition on this pair of lanes right now. You better execute or you're going to pay. Pensac just ripped the finger holes out of that shot, and it comes up high, 3-6-10.
And exploring that topic a little bit then, too, is, you know, that on the PBA Tour, we have our own lane maintenance crew. The PBA organization does, and they put out a professional condition. The object is not to have necessarily high scores. The object is to have a quality condition that demands shot making, but that is fair to everybody involved.
Fair in the second for Mr. 16-0.
Now he's switching balls again.
One of the things that comes to mind, too, is throughout the week, obviously through the 42 games that the players bowl, they change lanes after every single game. When you see a professional like Jim Pencak, who after a half an hour of practice and a game and a half on this pair is still looking for the shot, then you know they're tough.
A much better reaction with that ball than the other ball. The other ball just bit the lane too soon, and yet when he sent it wide, it wouldn't come back. So you have what the players call the Y shot there. I mean, it just did not right. At least this one goes further down the lane and breaks a little later, and if he throws it properly, it winds up in the pocket.
Westlake leads by 10 in the third. Ooh, good velocity shot right dead in the pocket. He threw the similar shot in the first and left a solid 10.
Tony just throws ball after ball after ball in the pocket. He throws it, walks back. He doesn't run him out. He doesn't smile. He doesn't get angry. He just is a bowling machine.
He doesn't get angry. He just gets even. But you're right. I think that's a very good way to describe his approach to the game. Not too high, not too low. Just execute, get the ball in the pocket, and nothing wrong with shooting 9 spare.
Brooklyn. Oh, what a break.
Oh, Westlake sweeps him away with the... Well, that's as much emotion as we've ever seen out of him in any game he's ever thrown.
And some pin came out of the sky to get that 10 pin. He went Brooklyn and had the solid 10 up there, and the pin just came out of nowhere to get that 10. Oh, and he was talking in the soundbite about the breaks going his way and the opponent's not getting the breaks. And there we see a little reversal. Westlake gets the Brooklyn, and he leaves the solid 9.
Solid 9 is right. Whew. Best shot of the night for Jim Pencak. Would have been a double. Would have cut the lead to just 10.
And given him an opportunity to even the match in the next shot.
Well, all the fun and frolic of game number 1. That's gone.
Turned to dead seriousness now. This boy's not going to bowl 160 at him.
A double for Westlake thus far. An open of the 2-4-8 in the first for Jim Pencak.
More room. Came back.
Didn't hit very hard, though.
It's a dry back ends then. It's those real dry back ends. When it comes in behind the head pin like that, sometimes it doesn't hit that hard.
And that's one of the things that he talked about playing the outside line. He said sometimes my ball has a tendency to come behind the head pin.
And there's the pocket 7-10 up there. The 5 pin got over there, just nudged out that 7, but nothing hit the 10.
So it's Westlake by 21. Tony works on a double and has now chosen to re-rack on lane 16.
Well, he knows that, again, there are crucial points in a match, and this is one of those points. You know, 2 strikes here, and he really takes a commanding lead.
Perfect shot for Tony Westlake on lane 16, who has just labeled the pocket here in his opening game.
Except for the one errant shot that he struck on in the 4th frame on lane 15, where he got the Brooklyn strike. See if that's going through his mind right now, if there's some kind of speed adjustment or where he just sloughs it off as a bad shot and goes back to the normal game plan.
I got to believe he's going to move his feet a couple boards left. I think that's all he needs to do on 15.
Flush hit for Westlake, who has 4 in a row. He now leads by 41, and he's trying to end the streak of streaks. 16 straight wins by Jim Pencak. When we come back, more bowling at nearby Heritage Hill. Historical characters and friendly guides offer a unique personal perspective of Green Bay.
Feeling lost when it comes to finding quality automotive service? Leb's Elders in Elizabethtown would like to help you find a way. Their trained technicians get the job done right, from total vehicle alignment, lube and oil change, to wheel balance, rotation, and more. From downtown Elizabethtown, take Route 230 to Cloverleaf Road, left on Mertz Drive. Off Route 283, Reams exit to Mertz Drive. Follow Mertz Drive past Messick Farm Equipment. You found the way to quality automotive service at Leb's Elders Field and Fleet Center in Elizabethtown.
For a look at state capitol activities, watch Senate Digest with Senator Gib Armstrong. Senator Armstrong will tackle the tough issues that impact on the residents of the 13th Senatorial District. He will talk with people from state and local government, the administration, and residents of the Lancaster County area. To find out how state government is working for you, join Senator Gib Armstrong for Senate Digest.
The tragedy of child...
Pensac with a spare in the 6th and a strike in the 7th still has an outside chance. And the ironic note here that we need to bring out is the fact that when Pensac started that 16-game winning streak in the championship round, he did so in this bowling center against Tony Westlake.
Now Tony has a chance to end it. High. Right back in the match. The 4-6-7, a little soft on that speed. And suddenly that big lead, it dwindles a little bit. Tony over about the first arrow to the 3rd board and left right now. Go for the count. Hope somebody bounce out. Oh, it did bounce around back there.
7-pin nicked the 4 and the ball. Well, if you want to go ahead and look ahead a little bit, 244 for Westlake is the best score, and what, 227 for Pensac.
But the thing is that open just pumped adrenaline back into Jim Pencak. You know, he's thinking any chance he can to win. I mean, he's positive all the way at this point.
Good shot by Westlake. Soft 10 on lane 15, and now Pensac saying, okay, 2 shots in a row. He didn't strike. I got a chance.
And did you see Tony put his hands down to say what he was thinking is no pocket 7-10.
And the player practicing lanes 21 and 22, our top seed, Mark McDow. He gets the obvious choice, and whoever wins this one.
Well, Pensac is going to keep 16 and go to 17. He's got to strike these next 2 shots.
Messenger got caught in between, and no strike there.
Well, he sure could have struck, though. He really threw it well. Again, switches balls to shoot the spare. I don't know how he keeps track of them all. And that ball singing, going down there a little bit.
Well, now the best score would be 207.
Which could still win. I mean, as many opens as we've seen tonight already. I don't know how many we've had. I bet you we've had 10 at least.
Jim Pencak asking for the re-rack on 15. It's granted. Strike here at least gets the attention of Tony Westlake in the 9th and the 10th.
Only 2 strikes the whole game. Both on this lane.
Not to be. Through the nose and not the shot that Jim Pencak wanted, that's for sure.
And basically now that just means that Tony Westlake needs a mark in one of the last 2 frames in order to go on for the championship match.
But that's easier said than done. You and I have proved that twice tonight.
That's right. And Ferraro winning that first match, and he found a way to lose it. He'll be thinking about keeping his speed up, though, on this shot. Still crept a little high there, I'll tell you.
For a heartbeat, Westlake was hoping that the 4 didn't have the company of the 6 or anything else on that right side of the lane.
Or the 9 or any of those things, right?
Tony Westlake in the process of eliminating Jim Pencak and a streak that I have a feeling will stay alive for a few years. 16 consecutive wins in the championship round.
Well, our statistician, Chuck Pierce, says that we've had 11 opens the first 2 games, and we've had 2 this game, so that makes 13 opens that we've had. And Tony Westlake says, I don't want to make it 14. Let's leave it that unlucky 13 right now.
Well, will the trend continue? Will we see open frames in the championship game?
You have to think we will.
That'll do it. Tony Westlake stops the streak at 16. And for Jim Pencak, a third-place finish here in Green Bay. And for Tony Westlake, it's on to the top seed, Mark McDow.
Trying to win his 2nd title of the year and join a number of others as multiple winners this year on the PBA Tour.
Another piece of tape here to finish out the 10th frame. There you go, yeah. That could help possibly in the title match. And, of course, coming up next week, Mike and I will be in Cheektowaga. That's really Buffalo, New York. Thruway Lanes, the PBA Senior Touring Pro Doubles Championship is live on Thursday at 7:30. And, of course, we want you all to join us for that one. And coming up next, the heavyweights will be throwing some serious leather in Atlantic City. Terry Tompkins and Al Bernstein standing by for all the action of that one. Oh, it's been a long and wonderful, memorable ride for this gentleman.
Well, he's got no regrets. And in this game, it wasn't that he bowled badly. That 10 pin in the 8th frame and that solid 9 back in the 4th frame. Big shots.
9 pin really hurt because it was a stretch where he could have cut the lead and even tied the game up early on. Still mounted a charge, but then 10 pin in the 8th frame was his undoing. Meanwhile, Tony Westlake struck out, shot 223.
And you see, when the pressure's off, you know, these lanes are scoreable. It's just that they are demanding condition, you know, and it's hard to be that loose and free when the pressure's on.
If you could figure out how to do that, well, you wouldn't have to worry about the bank account, would you?
That's true.
You'd even have some left over for Chuck Lozano and I.
Always have some left over for you, didn't he?
Well, let's see if Tony Westlake has something left for Mark McDow, because those two will vie for the LaMode Classic title here in Green Bay.
Roulades. Now that spells relief.
NASCAR racing's hot car is the Chevy Lumina, piloted by jockeys like Daytona champion Ernie Irvan.
My Lumina puts me in victory lane. Here's your chance to win the Lumina of your choice, like a new Z34. From now until the halfway point of ESPN's next Pick the Winning Chevy race, you can call and enter the number of the Lumina you think will finish highest in the race for just 99 cents a minute. The winner will be selected from all correct phone and mail entries. Hey, nice job. See you Sunday on ESPN.
I like
like what shampoo and conditioner do for my hair, but I love what Pert Plus does for me. Pert Plus is a unique shampoo and conditioner in one, so my hair turns out just the way I like it. Clean, conditioned, looking great, but without the bother of 2 bottles. Imagine, hair I like without the fuss. That's what Pert Plus does for me. If only everything in my life was so simple.
Wash and go with Pert Plus. Also in dandruff control.
Once you crash, you can't stop. Yeah. You grab them. You want them. You crunch them. Crunch them, you crunch them. Once you pop, Pringles. Can't stop. I can't stop, no. I can't stop, can't stop, can't stop.
Pringles.
Championship Frame is brought to you by Midas for mufflers, brakes, and shocks. Nobody beats Midas. Nobody. And in game number 1, let's pick up the action in the 10th frame. As you see, the final was 176 to 175 for Dave Wodka. This is a shot he'll never forget.
And he needed all 10 on this ball, Den, to emerge the victor, come from behind to beat Dave Ferraro. Threw his best shot of the match, all 10 in the pit. Here's his reaction.
176 to 175. Ferraro with an open in the 10th frame, and that was the key to victory as far as Watka was concerned. And Dave Wodka would move on to take on the streak master in Jim Pencak in game number 2. Pensac had won 15 consecutive games in the championship round, heading into the finals here this evening in Green Bay. And for Pensac, it was a crucial strike in the ninth.
Well, this one just virtually all but mathematically locked it up. He wanted to win number 16 in a row. Threw an excellent shot right here, coming in light. And Dave Wodka had the distinction of extending both streaks.
Final score in game number 2, Pensac winning easily 210 to 162. And then, of course, it was on to the semifinal game, pitting a couple of seasoned pros in Pensac and Westlake. And for Tony Westlake, it was a string in the middle of the match that decided it.
Well, Pensac had opened. He got up there, struck on the right lane. This is for 4 in a row, and to take a commanding lead, one that he would never relinquish. The ball just barely holds pocket here. It's making a hard move left, and the 2-pin just clips the top of the 4 for a solid strike, but gave him an insurmountable lead, or at least a lead he never surrendered.
Little body lean there as the 4 came out, and Tony Westlake defeated Jim Pencak, ending the streak at 16 consecutive victories, 223 to 195. When we come back, just 2 players left here in Green Bay, the local favorite Mark McDow and Tony Westlake.
This minivan goes shopping, gets the kids to school, carries camping gear. When I need brakes, I can't wait for my dealer to fix them.
Then come to Midas.
Hey, this is a minivan.
Hey, this is Midas. Cars, trucks, vans, and minivans. We're the brake experts. We do the job right with a written estimate up front, Midas-trained experts, and a great guarantee.
What about price?
You get a good price and a lot of value. But brakes done right, nobody beats Midas. Nobody.
Every second of an asthma attack can feel like an eternity. That's why there's Primatene Mist. Primatene opens clogged breathing tubes, restores free breathing in as fast as 15 seconds. So you're breathing easy in practically no time. Primatene Mist, the fastest type relief known. And for hours of relief, Primatene tablets with the asthma reliever doctors recommend most.
Football is back. ESPN and the NFL team up again for the hard-hitting excitement when the Jets battle the Giants. The New York Giants, the Super Bowl champions, enter a new era with a heated quarterback controversy waiting to be decided. The New York Jets, pride is on the line as the Jets try to grab the spotlight away from their in-town rival. The Jets battle the Giants, Saturday, August 17th, live on ESPN.
Well, without question, the bowling fans here have enjoyed ESPN's coverage of the LaMode Classic through the first 3 games, but now this is what they paid to see. The hometown boy, Mark McDowell, taking on Tony Westlake.
Interesting that everyone has chosen to finish on the left lane tonight on lane 15, and that's where Mark McDowell has chosen to finish.
Westlake opens with a major league break and a Brooklyn strike on lane 15.
And that ball, it proverbially hooked in his backswing. He didn't get down the lane at all with that ball. Taking quite a bit of time to start the match.
Oh, that ball opened up quickly and hooked left, and McDowell wanted the Brooklyn payback and didn't get it.
And right now he's trying, you know, he's a little nervous on that shot. In fact, extremely nervous. But what he's thinking in his mind now is, I got to figure out a way to make the 5-8 here, or the 5-9, and without chopping that 5 off the 9. Most of the players in this type of situation opt to throw the ball very straight at the 5.
Trying to get a little rhythm.
He did. He threw the same shot and got a break.
Oh, come on. That's the way he was playing it.
No, he wasn't playing it, but it's a spare, nevertheless. Tony Westlake wasn't playing for Brooklyn either. So.
McDowell trying to towel off a little bit here and shake the obvious nervous syndrome that comes with this kind of pressure, especially in front of your family and friends.
So what he's been working on all week, Denny, is he's trying, first of all, to have a free swing. Second, he's trying to get the ball down on the lane and not hit it on the upswing. He's visualizing a bar out there about at the dots that he's trying to throw the ball under.
Double bounce that one. There's no way that'll get back. And so for McDowell, a major mistake here in the second frame.
Mark, there's Patty looking on, saying, you can make it, huh? Mark's tendency is to hit up on the ball on the upswing, to get the ball projected up and going out of the lane rather than down. Chance. All right.
Boy, Mike, what a key shot early on in this match.
And a funny reaction off of that 2-pin. He threw the ball straight down the left side of the lane, nixed the 2-pin, and just hit it solid.
So instead of an open in the second, he has 17 in the first with a spare. Westlake up quickly out to about the 1 board, and a flush strike as he starts with a double. Doesn't look like he's affected at all by the partisan crowd.
Tony's not affected by much of anything.
Up by 13, trying to extend it to 23.
The left lane's giving him trouble
all night long.
4-7-10. We talked about opens in the championship match, and staring at one right here.
Could have had one in the second frame for McDowell, too.
Right. Tony doesn't convert this, Mark's going to take the lead sitting on the bench.
Safely for the count. Westlake opens in the third, and now McDowell leads by 2.
Taking a lot of time, too. Remember, he only has 25 seconds from the time that, that Tony steps off the approach, and I don't know what the clock is right now, but he's winding down his time.
We'll look at the payout this week for the professionals in the LaMode Classic. More room. Good reaction, and the first strike for McDowell.
And the ball not hit on the upswing, going on a more even trajectory on that plane. Seen from the side here. Once he gets up there, he takes very little time. It just takes all the time getting up there. Now watch the ball. Still going over those dots. He's trying to get it short of those dots. Trying to get the ball down earlier underneath those dots. Dots are about 6 feet out there.
Former All-American from West Texas State and the current president of the PBA. More loft on the left-hand lane, and McDowell comes back with a key double.
2 smooth shots, though, Denny. Relaxed, confident shots. That's what an open from your opponent will do.
Now, we've talked a lot about Tony Westlake being able to go up and execute under the heat. Let's find out.
Bounces it off the 1 board.
Pretty classy shot, wouldn't you say?
But the key shot's coming up right now, Dan.
All right.
Because high twice. Brooklyn through the nose. Watch this, though, as we take a replay of this. At the arrows, about 4 or 5. Down the lane at 40 feet, he's hanging it over the edge. Watch the 6-pin here. If he doesn't get in the way, it gets that 10 out of there. Can't trust it too much, though. That gray board doesn't hook back.
If he strikes, he's down by just 2. More room on the left-hand lane, and Westlake answers with 2 more of his own.
Tony's tough.
This is what we've been waiting for.
TT, tough Tony.
A crucial double, huh?
Well, it gets McDowell's attention, that's for sure. 2 pins, not much.
He'll take the break. Yeah, that was a little bit juiced up there, but he seemed to throw the ball harder, too, velocity-wise.
But it didn't come off his hand as clean and was left too quickly. Bit the lane too soon.
So the tendency for McDow would be, as he gets more excited, to probably grab it a little bit and try and hit it.
Right.
So he's trying to go away from his natural game.
Which is hard to do.
Oh. No problem with the spare, and I talked to Mark about bowling in front of the hometown fans. Was it an advantage or a disadvantage this week?
Definitely, yeah. You know, anytime you go through that experience a few times, you learn from it and grow from it. I've had some rough experiences up here just because I put pressure on myself. This year, I didn't exactly, you know, blow them away the last block, but I had a comfortable lead and I had fun out here. So I think I've learned from my past mistakes, and I handled it a little better this year.
Obviously handle it well enough to be the top seed.
Even after 5.
Kick out shot, 6-pin sailing right around the 10.
But he was happy with that shot. And again, that was smoother on a more even trajectory, not up and like a bounce. I mean, where you get it up and the ball bounces on that lane.
Mom and Dad and his wife looking on. Mom's got her eyes closed.
Suppose she took a peek there just to see if he made it?
No, I think she was just listening. That's what I'd do. Oh, here he comes. Working on a double, ahead by 1.
It's the finish on this lane at the end of the game, too. Left, Brooklyn.
Way inside his target. He missed by 3 boards, maybe 4.
Yeah. Tony just doesn't do that.
He says, no, don't applaud that shot. Believe me, that was not a good shot.
I don't know, something distracted his concentration or what? He kind of gave a wave back. You know, but he's...
That ball hits the 6 board.
Yeah. But it's 9 in the spare is the crucial thing. We're still even in the match.
After 6, Westlake and McDow dueling it out here for the LaMode Classic.
Good speed. Light. Ooh. Just wouldn't quite make it back.
Talked about the Railroad Museum a little while ago. We heard the thumb hole thumping right along there.
The Chattanooga choo-choo right there, huh?
What a transition, right?
At the 2-pin conversion, he'd be down by 1. That was silent.
Well, I think Tony's sitting down on the bench thinking, boy, if I could have just thrown a couple strikes there, I really had control of this title match, but it wasn't the case. McDow leads by 1. Let's see what happens here on lane 16.
You know, this match may turn out to be who makes the big mistake. That's a pretty big mistake right there. Missing the headpin on the left and leaving the 1-3-9.
Boy, watch. Well, if we could see the replay, his thumb went down so early on that release that that ball was left of the head pin at 35 feet.
His mother looks positively grim right at this point. Patty just looks worried.
Boy, after that shot, how do you make this?
Again, to me, the way to make it is throw it hard and straight at the head pin, just try and clip it on the right. But he went with the same hand release earlier at the 5-9. He does now, too.
Cutted it out, showed some courage, and showed some heart on that shot. Look at him. He said, he and Tony are looking at each other and said, boy, I'll tell you what, this is a tough pair of lanes right now.
And I tell you, then you have to battle, you know, the embarrassment of missing the head pin on the left on television and say, hey, I can't think about that now. I got an opponent here I have to beat. It doesn't matter. 7 and a spare is 7 and a spare.
Right. Somebody has to make the spare. You better get up and shoot it.
That's right.
Just trying to gut it out right now. Looking for his 3rd professional title. And you're right. It does appear that both players right now are just trying not to make the major mistake.
Here's Mom. She can't watch. She's either praying or talking to him. She listens to the sound.
Fair up for McDow. Ooh, pressure time.
2.5 frames to go. Westlake's got it if he can take it. Trusted it. It didn't make it back. Oh, I'll tell you what, they throw it too wide. The 2-8. He's talking about something. I don't know what he's saying. But Tony doesn't talk too much.
No, something has caught his attention, and it appears to be on the right-hand lane.
It could be. We have a camera screen back there. It could be something there catching his eye. I don't know.
I think there's some noise attached to the PA system here. A little bit of a buzzing or something like that. That's proven to be the problem. Focuses in, though, and picks up the 2-8. Well, you can't worry about that at this stage.
2 frames to go. Anything's possible at this point. Either player can win. We can have a tie.
I vote for the tie.
We don't have time for the tie.
Sure we do. Of course we do. Of course, while we're taking that re-rack, it's first place against second in the National League East as the Pittsburgh Pirates host the St. Louis Cardinals, who have surged past the Mets. It's a matchup that you won't want to miss on ESPN.
I'm glad we didn't miss this frame. Use the room.
Break of the week, the 5 was down and came back up, and it's even off spotlight, Durbin.
It's off spot to the left, but I'm telling you what a bad break that was. He has to make this to stay even in the match. Now watch it come in light here. The ball hits the 5. Now it moves to the left. The pin got in the way there and stood it back up.
Yeah, the 2 pin did. Can you believe that?
That's hard to believe. Look at how far off the spot it is. Good speed.
Missed by an eyelash, so a very tough break for Westlake in the ninth. Now will McDowell be able to rise to the occasion and take advantage of that horrible break and win the title?
And especially at this lane where we see it just a little bit too high, didn't miss by much. He missed the head pin on the left on this lane the last time. This is the most important shot of the week, because if he strikes here, he doesn't need a double in the 10th to win.
More room, not enough. Through the nose, and a very lucky, fortunate Mark McDowell shakes his head and comes back, and will have to deal with the 6-10.
And, you know, we haven't had a strike by either player now in over 4.5 frames. But that gets the margin under 10 pins. If McDowell doesn't strike out in the 10th, Westlake can stand up and throw a double and win the match and the title. Right now, it's Two guys gasping for the finish line, and both of them running out of breath.
Both fighters in the 10th round just trying to get their arms above their waist. And, of course, speaking of boxing, Barry Tompkins and Al Bernstein standing by at the Trump Castle in Atlantic City, New Jersey, with boxing coming your way as soon as we're done here with bowling in Green Bay.
Mark McDowell needs 2 strikes in the 10th frame and 2 pins to win his hometown victory.
Off the hand nicely, doesn't finish. Oh, and all Mark can do is smile, and the fans are stunned. Oh, my.
Same thing he left back in the 2nd frame. He knows how to make it. He's going to throw hard and straight down the left side of the lane and hope he can do it twice in one game.
Oh, my goodness. The best shot that he could possibly throw, and talk about bad breaks. McDowell finishes at 183.
Unbelievable. Watch the 2-pin in front of the 10 and like a washout go right around that 10.
Don't even have to say anything. Tony Westlake needs a mark in the 10th frame to win. Good speed. That'll do it. Westlake showing some emotion, and what a title match, Mike Durbin. Back and forth. Both players had a chance to win the championship.
And that's the first strike that we've had by either player in the last half of the game.
Can't even begin to describe what Mark McDowell must be feeling deep down inside.
Tony just throws it down the middle.
Westlake wins for the 2nd time in a 6-week period. McDowell up off the bench with a handshake. Tony certainly can understand what McDowell is going through right now, but for Tony Westlake, his 4th professional title. We'll come back to wrap things up from Red Carpet Lanes in Green Bay in just 1 minute.
Why do so many men stick with Bic? I'm a Bic man. Because there's a Bic for every beard. Bic Regular, a great shave at a great price. I'm a Bic man. Bic Sensitive, Bic Baby's tender skin. Bic Metal, slim head, total control. Yeah, I'm a Bic man. I'm a Bic man. Regular, sensitive, metal. I'm a Bic man.
Red Devil enamel. You can always count on its durable finish. Harder than ordinary paints, its beauty lasts and lasts. Red Devil enamel for the finish of a lifetime.
When you play the game, you're looking good. That's the Bud Light way that undergoes.
When you're looking good, you want Bud Light. The clean, fresh taste won't fill you up and never lets you down.
You can taste it, you can feel it, you know you got it right. Everything else is just keep your Bud Light shining. You got the shine on. No better way to face the day.
The morning belongs to Skin Bracer Aftershave. Its cool, brisk tingle really gets you going. And what a great scent. Skin Bracer.
No better way to face the day. Find it.
Today is a beautiful day. You have 3 beautiful children. They look like you, but they're going to be doctors. Can your life get any better? Yes, because you're going to McDonald's to get real values at unreal prices. Only 59 cents for a regular hamburger, 69-cent cheeseburger, 99-cent chicken fajitas, and great deals on Happy Meals. You save money. You're smart, but your children, they're geniuses. Yes, life is good, and at these prices, it only gets better at McDonald's today.
The championship round finals of the $130,000 LaMode Classic have been brought to you by Budweiser, the king of beers, who reminds you friends know when to say when. And by Skin Bracer, no better way to face the day. Skin Bracer by Menon.
championship game, Tony Westlake holding out and defeating Mark McDow 197 to 183. And he is flanked now by Gary Hartel, the executive director of the Wisconsin BPAA, who will hand him a check for $20,000. And our good friend, of course, Mr. Alan Gieler, the vice president of LaMode Activewear, has the trophy to present. So long, everybody. We'll say goodbye from Green Bay, Wisconsin for Tony Westlake, his second victory of the season.
The next stop on the PBA Summer Tour is up in Cheektowaga, New York. The championship round finals of the PBA Senior Touring Pro Doubles Championship will be shown live Thursday, August 15th, beginning at 7:30 Eastern Time from Thruway Lane.